Hey guys, Drifter here. Welcome to Black Ops 4 In Depth. In today's episode, we're going to be doing grip testing. Yes, it's that time of the year again that I revisit the foregrip, the in-depth episode that more or less made my channel. We're going to be taking a look at the foregrip in Black Ops 4 and seeing if it is useful, if it is a placebo, and we'll be taking a look at grip 2. There will be some tests throughout this video, but most of the video will be gameplay of me using the ICR2 with grip 2 attached, and then all of the raw testing will be available at the end of the video for you to watch in bulk if you're interested in that. So in short, grip affects each weapon differently, not just each weapon class, but each weapon within the class seems to get a slightly different amount of recoil adjustment with the grip. And in general, the effect is much stronger on some machine guns than it is on assault rifles or snipers. Grip does appear to increase the predictability too, because for the first time in Call of Duty we have predictive recoil, and to the best of my ability to tell, the grip causes the predictive recoil to be even more predictive and less random, even if it isn't necessarily changing the amount of kick that much. And personally, with predictive recoil being a thing, I find that grip is overall less useful to me because I'm learning the kick patterns of the weapons and how to adjust and compensate over time, so it's much easier to get shots in Black Ops 4 than it is in most Call of Duty games. And one thing I want to talk about is that grip 2 is literally insane. Grip 2 just makes laser beams. It's actual zero recoil laser beams that shoot across the map, but only if you aim down sights for a bit before shooting. You can't hip fire into aiming down sights, and you can't ADS snap aim people. You have to be already ADS for a second, maybe a portion of a second, and then when people come around the corner or you strafe over to them and start shooting, it has actually zero recoil on the two guns that you can equip grip to, which is the ICR7 and the GKS. You're seeing the ICR here. That's not just me having good aim, that's just that the fact that the weapon has actually no recoil with grip 2, which is insane. Grip 2 also reduces flinch when you get shot, so that's really strong and really valuable in my opinion. I think that's going to be incredibly valuable in competitive play. And another odd fact is that in Blackout, the grip attachment does not reduce recoil. Instead, it reduces idle sway by 33%, which isn't useful on SMGs in any capacity. I'd run laser sight all the time. It's pretty useful on rifles and extremely useful on snipers in Blackout mode. For whatever reason, in Blackout, the effect of some of the attachments have been swapped around, and the stock is actually your recoil reduction attachment. It will reduce recoil by 15%, at least according to the in-game menu. That's probably view kick, as it's coded in Call of Duty, and won't affect your ability to strafe whatsoever in Blackout. So at the end of the day, the question is, what weapons should I be using the foregrip with? Which weapons do it matter on? Well, the grip helps a whole ton with the Cordite and the SOG 9mm SMGs. I found by far the strongest effect of the grip on these two particular weapons. It increased their predictability, decreased their horizontal recoil, and significantly decreased their vertical recoil. So the grip made these weapons way easier to use, and that makes sense because they're like SMG spray guns, you shoot them super fast, and grip would help more with that. On the ABR, it tightened the burst enough for me to say it'll probably help you get in ABR shots at range. The ABR is kind of a naturally low recoil weapon as is, so you wouldn't think you would need a grip, but when I took a look at the side-by-side comparison, I found that at range, the ABR shots were much better clustered with the foregrip, so I would consider it worthwhile on that weapon. On the SDM sniper rifle, which currently is the only one you can equip the grip on, grip reduced vertical kick to almost zero, but it still had some horizontal recoil. If you're a little bit worried about the gun kicking up above people's heads when you spam with it, especially if you're running the iron sights or red dot attachment, grip would be a good choice. If you're doing long range actual snipes, probably not super useful. And finally, the grip helps the KN55 and Rampart, but not a whole lot. Grip definitely does reduce their recoil, it reduces them a little bit and makes them a little bit more predictable, but I found that the KN55 and Rampart had fairly similar recoil patterns with and without the grip, and I just wouldn't recommend it on those guns. Those guns are much better with different attachments, especially high caliber 2 on the Rampart, which is just downright bananas. And finally, the ICR and GKS have very, very minimal change with the foregrip. Now, they do change, and you can see that change, but it's not a statistically significant one. It's not, it would be statistically significant. It's not a gameplay significant one, because both of those weapons are very accurate. However, grip 2 is amazing. Grip 2 just makes them actual lasers and you don't flinch, so I think they're really good attachments, Grip 2 for the ICR7 and GKS if you choose to run them. Guys, that is it for the information part of this episode, of my voice part. I don't like to put information out there and just have you take my word for it. This channel is in depth and I intend to prove it. So at the end of this episode, I want to show you my full grip test, the spray, the side-by-side, and everything labeled so that you can watch and form your own opinions or disagree if you want to. Guys, that is all for this episode. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something useful. And if you did, don't forget to like, favorite, and subscribe. Drifter out.